Forbes India presents Crypto Made Easy, powered by CoinDCX.
Hello and welcome to the show. Forbes India presents Crypto Made Easy, powered by CoinDCX. I'm your host, Paramita Chatterjee. And over the course of the last few weeks, we've been running several discussions about the crypto world and learning more about it, whether it's from a marketing perspective, from the potential of Web3. And today on the show, it's time for us to understand about compliance and user protection and what it means if you're a crypto investor. And to make us understand all of that and more, we have with us a very special guest, Rohan Bhandari, who's head of compliance at CoinDCX. Rohan has about 15 years of experience in this world of compliance, and he has been overseeing the alignment of processes and policies with regulatory specifications. He's worked with numerous fintechs and other entities in his career, right from Paytm to Bharti Airtel, and a fair degree of time with FreeCharge, which is part of Axis Bank. And today, Rohan is working closely with regulators and banking partners to scale up India's Web3 ecosystem. Rohan holds a master's in law from the University of Western Ontario in Canada. Thank you so much, Rohan, for joining us.
Thank you, Parama.
Clearly, this is a world that you've been deeply invested in and really helping to grow as per the right regulations and as conforming to certain standards. But explain to us, why is regulation such an urgent necessity when it comes to the Indian crypto markets, and how will it help a new user or new investor navigate these markets?
Well, to me personally, I feel that regulations are really important from all the three fronts, be it user, be it any of the service providers like us, or be the government agencies as well. For a user, it just brings in a sense of legitimacy to the business, right? It brings a comfort to the user that, hey, this business is legal, legitimate, and I have the right protections available for me. It also really helps from a user, from a consumer standpoint of view. For example, the consumer protection and redressal mechanism are quite more stringent. And that really brings in the trust for the user from a day in, day out perspective. If I look at the other side, which is the service providers like us, it will only ensure that serious players in the business stay in the market and everyday new businesses doesn't come up, because I'm sure there are going to be certain rules coming in from who can really provide these kinds of businesses. It also really brings in the exact rules I need to follow, be it KYC, be it AML, be how I need to ensure the customer funds are protected. So it becomes really important for us that regulations becomes really important, that it really needs to come out from an Indo-crypto market perspective. For government, they also really would like regulations to come out. It helps sharing of data between the agencies like other providers like us with them. Since we all are in financial business, it also helps the government with another revenue line. Because taxation becomes an important source of revenue for the government as well. And lastly, of course, it really helps drive that less grievances for the consumer because there are already rules set by the government, what needs to be followed. And hence, I truly believe that regulations are really important that needs to be come out as soon as possible by the Indian government.
Rohan, regulation is still at a very nascent stage. And in a market like this, in an industry like this, how important is self-regulation, and what do we mean?
See, self-regulation is really important. It brings in a trust to the consumer for the business that we do. For me, I believe the company like us, we are heavily focusing on self-regulation. And maybe let's look at the evolution of the banking industry or the mutual fund industry. They started off from a self-regulatory organization. For example, let's look at AMFI, for instance. AMFI was a self-regulatory organization for the mutual fund industry. And now they've set the standards or the bars that needs to be followed for the mutual fund industry. And hence, from a crypto space also, because a lot of consumer funds are linked with these entities, it becomes really paramount that all the entities have a self-regulatory organization, which we're currently working on, also have self-regulations that they follow to ensure that the trust remains in the entity, the trust remain in the community, and also trust remain in this entire business that we're trying to forward with.
So going with that thought, at CoinDCX, what are some of those self-regulation measures you've undertaken?
Well, we've taken up multiple challenges and multiple avenues from self-regulations. Just to name a few, from a KYC perspective, We have made stringent processes that we follow. We ensure any customer that does a transaction on our platform is fully duly KYC verified. Only then the transactions are taken place. Second, from a record retention perspective, we store all transaction records as required under the law. This is just to ensure any government body or any enforcement agencies requires any data, we have it with us for duly submission. The third aspect is from a money laundering perspective. We have deployed huge amount of tools, invested a lot of amount of money into building these tools, which just can give us red flag indicators where we can qualify a user as high risk and do an enhanced due diligence on these users. Other places, of course, are from a customer grievance redressal perspective. We invested heavily on managing any grievances for the user. We try to ensure any grievance that we get a response for that within 48 hours. Also, from running our exchange as well, we follow a 7M framework where we ensure only those tokens or those virtual digital assets are listed on our platform which pass through the 7M framework. It's a robust process that we follow, so to ensure the consumer's protection is there, and we don't list any tokens which are just available on the market. And of course, lastly, is the new piece that we're currently working on is the proof of reserves and the proof of liability. This just gives a comfort on what kind of funds that we have of user, and we have that duly protected at our end to ensure that we are totally financially viable or we are totally financially sound in running our business.
Financial crimes have been quite rampant, and given that, what are some of those additional measures because the world of crypto and looking at the underlying technology, I mean, user anonymity, decentralization, these are key aspects. So, given that, is that a bit of a challenge in terms of really going ahead and giving that extra mile of user protection from some of these financial crimes?
It does, but what we have done, we've actually deployed a very robust KYC process, right? So there's a multi-layer check that we do on KYC. Be it as soon as you come onto my platform, we do quick checks on where the KYC is coming from, how legit is your KYC, and basis that only those accounts are created on our platform. And even after transacting, if we feel there are certain set of users that we want to tag as high risk, we go ahead and do an enhanced due diligence on these users as well, where we ask you for your source of funds. We even ask you the remitter and beneficiary details in case you want to do, say, a crypto in or a crypto out. And lastly, where I think we've deployed a very sophisticated monitoring tool, which really helps us provide real-time alerts on any anomalies that really comes up from a user usage or a transaction perspective.
Okay, that's fantastic. In fact, you've taken some additional steps in terms of risk monitoring when it comes to the crypto world. I understand that CoinDCX is the first such entity to go ahead and partner with Solidus Labs, as well as the platform CoinFirm for EML protection and stronger user safety. Share with us what that exactly means and how will they help in magnifying or enhancing compliance and helping user protection?
Sure. I think compliance is, from our company perspective, compliance is in the DNA of each and every individual who's part of CoinDCX. And this runs from the founders to the senior management and to the grassroots level or the developer that who's working for us day in, day out perspective. We've invested heavily on compliance tool and we've deployed three major tool providers. One, of course, is Solidus, which is a renowned, known company globally from a crypto perspective, which provides us an AML monitoring tool. This tool really runs sophisticated algorithms on each transaction that the user does. And provides us red flag indicators, basis which we can then do enhanced due diligence on a user, or if we want to maybe limit the user from a transaction perspective, we can go ahead and do that basis the alerts that we get from the Solidus platform. The second tool that we've deployed is CoinFirm. CoinFirm provides us a risk score on each transaction. This helps us identify the wallets from where the crypto is coming in or the crypto is going out. This ensures that my ecosystem remains safe and is not touched by any wallets which are tainted or which have been used in the dark web. So this really works on a scoring model, which we've deployed here on our platform. The third bit that we're really working closely on is the LexisNexis software that we're working on, where it's actually a name screening tool which most of the banks and the fintechs deploy in India, and really helps us to identify if we have any politically exposed customers or if we have any sanctioned customer doing any transactions on our platform. And then we can quickly take a call whether if any of these customers are being onboarded on our platform. To sum up, I think compliance is one of the key pieces for our company, and we're heavily investing on the compliance tool day in, day out. And any new tools that really come up from a crypto space, we go ahead, evaluate, and see whether it's worthwhile for us to exactly invest and deploy them for our user protection, to ensure that trust remains in this company, and also to provide adequate trust to the government agency with whom we are actually working with.
Okay, one of the big sort of concerns, or what we've been seeing with other entities, is about users keeping their wallets safe. What are those mechanisms you're putting in place in order for CoinDCX wallets to be kept safe when it comes to your users?
Well, ensuring customer trust or the user's trust is paramount important for us, and we deployed multiple measures to ensure that the user's wallet is safe and secure. Just to name a few. At any new login that really happens, we send out an intimation to the consumer on the mobile number registered, also to the email, just to give an alert to the user that, hey, you've logged in from a new device, or you've logged in from a new IP. We've made it mandatory for a user at the time of sign in to do a two-factor authentication. So we send an OTP on the mobile number and also the registered email ID, and only then you're able to log in into the platform that we provide. We've recently also done investment on the Face ID and the biometric login, because our users really want this kind of new age technology to be deployed on our platform. Apart from this, for any crypto deposit or a crypto withdrawal that we do, we ensure that a password is there to ensure that the user itself is doing the transaction. In addition, we've also ensured that there is a mandatory sign out in case there is no activity on the app for a duration. This ensures that the wallet is secure and there is no unknown person transacting on your behalf. And lastly, we've also deployed a mechanism where in case you have certain funds, idle funds lying in our platform, which is in INR, and you've not transacting on that INR for the last 1 year, we refund that amount back to your source, similar to what brokers or the stock brokers do on a quarterly basis.
Right. Those are indeed some measures which I'm sure would be giving a lot of relief to investors as well, and security as well from any of their wallets being misused. Now, we can't let you go without a question about the learnings or the lessons that you have learned, and as an organization that you've taken from the spectacular collapse of FTX, particularly from a compliance lens. What are some of those lessons learned?
Well, FTX has been quite dear to all of us, right? It was number 2 of the world, and the learnings that are humongous that we could enrich from the collapse of FTX. To me personally, I feel since you are in crypto space where you are managing a lot of customer funds, a lot of customer trust is required. Installing a 3-line of defense is really important. Most of the entities only leave it to the first line of defense, which is actually the function to manage the risk. But building the second line and the third line, which is an independent risk management framework and a compliance team, and of course the third line of defense, which is the internal audit, is very much important to ensure that the company is running perfectly. You've adequate checks and balances in place to ensure there is no activity which goes unnoticed. Apart from this, I believe a robust governance mechanism is really important.
Great. And I think that's the most important thing, that lessons have been learned from what happened at FTX, and you're implementing some of those lessons in CoinDCX in order to keep your users protected and secure in today's crypto world. Thank you so much, Rohan Bhandari, for joining us. Rohan Bhandari, Head of Compliance at CoinDCX, joining us there with insights in terms of the systems in place to protect users from a compliance lens. And thank you to our viewers as well for joining us on this special series, Crypto Made Easy, presented by Forbes India, powered by CoinDCX.
Forbes India presents Crypto Made Easy, powered by CoinDCX.
Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regularity recourse for any loss from such transactions.